We're nearing the end of 2022, and I've been taking some time to reflect on what this past year has brought me. I've spent a lot of time failing in the garden, but also learning even more in the process. But before I get into the video, I'd like to do a quick recap of everything. Welcome back. My name is Kate, and I'm a gardening enthusiast, and I live in Maine. I decided to start this YouTube channel 6 months ago to share how I'm reconnecting back with the great outdoors. This mostly entails my gardening journey on my 0.25 acre plot in the suburbs. The garden is looking very different from when I first started back in 2019, where I started with a single raised bed and I only grew potatoes. It seemed fitting since my grandfather was a Maine potato farmer, and I felt it was only right to pay homage to my ancestors while beginning my gardening journey. Over time, the garden grew, and so has my interest in gardening. Now, I don't proclaim to be any kind of an expert, but I hoped by sharing my vlogs that it might spark someone's interest to start their very own garden. And when I started my garden, it started with a lot of digging, and I mean a lot. My husband and I, we've done everything by hand up until this year when we finally decided to rent a sod cutter. We also hauled tons of gravel, truly over 5 tons worth. We learned how to level and install our picket fence, and together we learned how to put together a greenhouse. It's been just the 2 of us and has roughly taken us about 3 years to get to this point. Now, we still have a ways to go, but it's quite amazing to see the transformation over the years. If you've seen my vlogs before, you might have noticed that I love English-inspired cottage gardens. I love them for their whimsy, but also their balance. I also believe starting a cottage garden is less intimidating as a new gardener because there's truly no right or wrong way to begin. It's left up to each individual's interpretation and inspiration. Before we jump into my goals for next year, I wanted to recap and highlight my 5 greatest lessons that I am taking away from 2022. Lesson number 1, fail as much as you can. If I went through and tried to list all of my failures for this year, it would probably be a 10-hour long video. My greatest teachers are my mistakes. I have made countless mistakes in and out of the garden this year. However, I welcome them as I view these moments as opportunities to learn. One of my biggest garden failures this year continues to this day to be overwintering my bulbs and tubers, mainly dahlia tubers. If I do not have something right in front of me, I will most likely forget about it. So just to be transparent there, yes, I am raising my hand that I am not the best with overwintering bulbs. So there we go. Outside of the garden, I would say YouTube has been a great challenge. Especially starting out, it can be tough to keep going when you frequently have videos that you deem as a failure. It's a humbling experience and a great reminder we all have to start from somewhere. Not every video will go viral. It's probably going to take years, I would suspect, but this is something that I find incredibly fun and, yes, also humbling. Lesson number 2, build your community. It's been truly eye-opening to see just how many people I have been able to connect with who are also interested in gardening or simply just want to reconnect and explore the outdoors. I have befriended some incredible neighbors and connected with some truly wonderful people, through YouTube. I continue to watch and follow fellow YouTubers because I learn so much from you all. I feel incredibly grateful for the community we are building here together on this channel. It's always been a dream of mine to have a safe, kind, and encouraging space to offer, and I'm excited to see how we can build this community together. I am an extremely small channel with 413 subscribers as I'm writing this. Shout out to you all, thank you. And I am so hopeful for what the future brings for all of us. Lesson number 3, just start. I think this was my top mantra for 2022. I feel we tend to make all the excuses in the world to put off starting something. I'm speaking from personal experience. Until we actually go for it, we will always be left wondering, what if? I know I always used to want to start a YouTube channel, but never thought I had enough to share or offer. I used to make excuses like, I don't have the best equipment to start, maybe I'm too boring, I'm not an expert in anything, etc., etc. Until one day, a friend shared her own YouTube video, and it was her simply just doing a voiceover to a video, like I'm doing right now. And I remember the moment I instantly thought, oh my gosh, I can do that. I don't have to share my face at that time. So after I filmed my very first video, I put it out there to my 6 subscribers at that time, all of which were some of my friends and family members. And it was just putting it out there and publishing it that I felt comfortable to keep going. I still film with my iPhone, and sometimes I even break my drone out, which I'd like to get more into for next year. But to be truthful, it is so much fun. I love filming, I love editing, I love connecting with you all. It's been a really great creative outlet for me. Lesson number 4, persistence is key. There is a saying, to become a master in anything, it takes roughly 10,000 hours. I think sometimes we can be our own worst critics if we don't get something right immediately, and it can be tough to stay motivated. Again, I'm speaking personally. However, I am also a strong believer to keep going, even if at first your results are embarrassing. This is normal. I think it's normal to have that cringe factor for a while. I know, looking back at some of my videos, it's super cringy, and I'm like, oh my gosh. But I remember hearing, I can't remember where, but if you're having that cringe feeling, that you're in a growth period or a growth stage. So it's after you get past that cringe moment that you then reach the next level, and so on and so forth. But I'm learning to embrace the cringe, and maybe next year will be your year of the cringe. Lesson number 5, step out of your comfort zone. For some reason, I always had this voice telling me to start a YouTube channel, but I was always too afraid to try. I also never considered myself to be a true gardener, and still do not, but I reached a point where I finally thought, why not? I figured if anything, I'm learning something new, something challenging, and I feel I am gleaning some valuable life lessons. If all of this flops, at least I tried. So as 2022 comes to a close, I first want to say thank you. Thank you for watching and inspiring me. My goal and my hope is to grow this community with all of you and see what we can really do with this channel. My goal for 2023 on this channel specifically, I believe, will be to focus more on the quality of the videos and not necessarily the quantity. So while this may mean fewer monthly uploads, I'd love to improve upon the visuals of my editing and filming and really hope that it's a more enjoyable experience for all of you to watch. One of my top personal goals for 2023 is to just plain have more fun. Life can be very serious, and sometimes it's absolutely necessary for us to tap into our childlike wonder. I know for me personally, this channel has been a great creative outlet, and it's sparked a lot of joy for me. Thank you so much for being here. It truly means so much to me. I'm so excited to see what 2023 brings, how I can push myself creatively, and how we can grow this community together. So, Happy New Year, my friends. I wish you well, and I hope to see you soon.